I've always been into sport since a kid. When I was in school, I used to do everything: football, rugby, always boxed. Obviously with my dad as a pro coach, I always boxed anyway, and used it as the fitness side to my other sports. Played good level of football. Trialled for West Ham at one point.
Did you?
Flopped it.
I'm a West Ham fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't like West Ham. Flopped it.
Dad, just ignore what he just said.
Yeah, flopped the trial, and then ended up getting into rugby. Got scouted from school, played for Saracens. Played good level of rugby for 3 years. Was always a good runner. Yeah, just got into all different sports. From rugby, I went into boxing. Started boxing probably properly when I was about 12, but I'd already always boxed, 12, 13.
You've been around the gyms?
Yeah, been around the gyms. Had my first fight at 15, 14 or 15. For Repton, I had a couple of fights for them.
I feel like every amateur wants to be a Repton fighter.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad sent me down. His dad was originally from Bethnal Green, so he sent me down there to go to Repton. So I went Repton and boxed there for a few years. It was all right. Yeah, I boxed. I didn't have the best decision in the first fight. Second one I won. I ended up leaving there and going to the same club that Lioness boxes for, boxing a lot of away shows. And then I sort of binned off boxing for a bit. Like I was hit and miss what I wanted to do. I went uni, which is. Do I look smart enough to go uni? Would you sit here and say, "Oh, Ellis is a uni boy"?
Okay. Do you know who else has been to uni that's a boxer?
Lawrence Coley.
And Dan Aziz.
Okay, so do I look clever enough to be a boxer? You can answer my question.
Clever enough to be a boxer? Clever enough to go to uni?
I mean.
It's a bit of a strange question. How do you look like somebody that goes to uni?
Do I seem thick? That's what I'm asking.
No, you don't seem thick.
That's all right then. All right, cool. We discovered that. So, yeah, I went uni for a bit.
What did you study at uni?
Sports science. Yeah. Exeter. I went to. Actually, I think. What's the heavyweight? Romford Ball. What's his name? Johnny Fisher. He was at the same uni as me. And we sort of crossed paths a couple of times, I think, at uni. I sort of know of him. I don't know him, but I know of him. Boxed for them for a bit. Got to the semi-finals at the British University Championships. I think I got robbed. Like everyone says they get robbed, but like I genuinely think I did. Got robbed. And then I left uni. Was up and down again what I wanted to do. And then recently the last year and a half I've wanted to turn pro. And the rest is history, isn't it? Rest is history.
Do you think your dad had a massive influence on your decision making to go pro?
No, not at all. You know, he's never pushed me into anything. Never. He's never pushed me into boxing. I've always done it off my own back. I've always wanted to come to a gym. When I was a kid, I used to ask him, pester him to come to a gym. It was never him being like kicking me up the arse, getting me down the stairs. And obviously, I've always trained with all the pros. So being around them and seeing them succeed, say Lioness. I was around obviously James DeGale when he was pro. Used to go to all his fights. Seeing all that always inspired me to get into it. So yeah, I wouldn't. Obviously, partly to do with my dad, because without my dad, I wouldn't be in the gyms. But he'd never push me into it. No.
Yeah, it's a different mentality when you train with pros. I think I only train with one, and he trains bloody hard. And I'm like,
100%. It's real dedication. Real dedication. You've got to put your life to it, and there's sacrifice you've got to make. But you've got to be willing to make them, and not everyone is. Some people are, and that's the difference really between an amateur and a pro.
And you fighting at middleweight?
Middleweight, yeah.
So what weight do you sit at?
I sit around, if I'm out of camp, 80 odd kilos, something like that, which is obviously 72.6 is championship weight for middleweight. Box at 75, so it's the second I cut all the shit out, it drops off. So it's alright.
It's not too hard.
It's not too bad. I don't struggle. I'm sitting a kilo and a half above my weight now, so it's easy. It's cool.
You're quite tall though, so would you ever consider going up later on?
I think eventually, maybe in a few years' time, I might build out a bit more, and I might struggle to make the weight, and super middleweight might be a better option. But for now, I'm cool at middleweight. I make it easy, so it's not a problem.
How did signing with Goodwin come about?
So Lioness and Brad, obviously they're in the camp. They've always been with Goodwin. I've always been around Goodwin. I had a few options of who I could have signed with, but as I say, I've always been around Goodwin, and I know he looks after his fighters a lot. He takes a lot of care into them. He'll get them the right fights for the right money, and that's what you need in boxing. You need someone you can trust and someone who's going to look after you. So I knew that Goodwin was a good person, seeing how he had promoted and managed Lioness and Brad. So that was based on my decision. Yeah.